There's some breaking developments with the Shane Ellis theory, and guys, this is literally playing out as we're sitting here. Now, if this is your first time hearing about it, no stress. I'm going to get you caught up to speed real quick. Plus, I've got some brand new intel to share with you. RLUSD combined with ETF demand could be the missing piece that sends this theory into overdrive. So let me walk you through the basics of what Shane Ellis is even proposing, and after that, I'll lay out all the fresh data that just hit. The Shane Ellis theory posed that XRP could experience a dramatic price reset due to a sudden liquidity shock when large institutional demand, especially from avenues like spot ETFs and payment corridors, overwhelms the thin supply available on exchanges in the public float. This theory suggests that the price may not rise gradually over the years, but it could instead surge rapidly overnight in aggressive buying sweeps through sell orders and focus on repricing across the entire system. The core concepts here are thin exchange order books. Shane Ellis observed that XRP exchange liquidity can be shallow, meaning large buy orders can exhaust available sell orders and push the price much higher. These ETF providers are quietly grabbing everything they need from OTC desks and dark pools. Zero impact on the open market, right? But picture this scenario. What if you took 50 or even 100 million bucks and dropped it directly into these paper-thin order books? The price would shoot up like a rocket. I know that might sound intense, but hang tight because towards the end of this video, I'm showing you actual instances where we've seen this play out before. Okay, so it mentions liquidity-driven price reset. If global payment corridors use XRP for settlements or institutional products like ETFs start absorbing significant supply, the market would have instantaneously revalue XRP to prevent liquidity runouts. And then, of course, the supply shock. The theory is rooted in the foundational market mechanics. When persistent regulated demand from ETFs and institutions meets a fixed or shrinking supply, prices may spike rapidly as the sell walls disappear. Dude, I'm not even kidding. My pulse is through the roof right now while I'm digging into this stuff because I am genuinely hyped. Like, I'm legitimately sitting here calculating ways to grab even more XRP. All right, order book fundamentals, quick crash course. So every crypto exchange operates with something called an order book, which is really just this constantly updating feed that shows you all the active buy and sell orders happening. Order book fundamentals. Every crypto exchange has an order book, which is just a dynamic list showing all open buy and sell orders for a given asset like XRP. The depth of the order book refers to how many units are available at each price. Then order books mean there isn't much XRP for sale at each price level. So the surge in demand can push the price up quickly. Most retail trading happens with smaller orders, but when institutions or ETFs place major buys, they consume all available liquidity at lower prices rapidly. In practice, if a large buy order, say millions of XRP, hits an exchange, it sweeps through the order book, feeling every single sell order that it can at the lowest available prices. Look at what's happened in basically the last week and a half since spot ETFs launched. We're talking about more than $600 million pouring in. That's insane money. Now imagine if that same $600 million crashed into the open exchanges instead. It would completely vaporize these bargain prices we're staring at. Once those sell orders are gone, if there aren't enough sells left, a gap forms on the next available price is much higher. The price jumps in a single transaction, not a slow ramp. Arbitrage traders try to balance this by selling from other venues, but if the wave is big enough or OTC and custody is involved, as ETFs arbitrage can't keep up, this is how you get dramatic system-wide repricing. And then check this out, Dash. Real-world examples in ETF impact ETF inflows require immediate substantial buys. Fund structures mean newly seeded capital is converted to XRP instantly, not slowly. If ETFs collectively buy billions in XRP, these coins are moved to fund custody wallets, essentially locking them away and no longer available for day-to-day trading. Listen, these ETFs are locking everything away for years. Nobody's sitting there scalping trades every morning with this. The result is then reinforced supply shock. Less available XRP on exchanges means any new demand moves prices faster, further, faster. Even small additional buys can push up the price several percent or more in these conditions. Oh, and that OTC desk theory? Right, we already dipped into that one a bit. One of the most compelling and least visible theories behind XRP liquidity crunch is rooted in the over-the-counter market. Unlike traditional buys on centralized exchanges, OTC trades happen off-book, often brokered in private between large buyers like institutions or sovereign entities, and sellers including exchanges, whales, or Ripple's escrow. These traders don't move price, at least not directly, but they absolutely drain supply. Think of it this way. If a major hedge fund or government bank payment quarter wants to acquire 200 million XRP, they won't go to Binance. They go through a desk like BitGo, Galaxy Digital, Cumberland, or even Ripple itself, who then sources those coins from exchanges and OTC partners or reserve pools. That XRP gone from circulation. And then when the trades settle, they often move to custodial cold wallets, never to return to the open market unless reopened years later. And this is exactly how RLUSD might fast track this entire movement. RLUSD as a stable medium instead of banks or institutions using fiat like USD to buy XRP, they use RLUSD, Ripple's backed stablecoin. RLUSD eliminates volatility during the transaction process, allowing for large, seamless purchases of XRP. Clearing the order book. Banks and institutions use RLUSD to place large buy orders for XRP on exchanges. As XRP is bought, the cheaper sell orders are exhausted, forcing the price to jump to the next available level in the order book. This can lead to a rapid price increase as the order book liquidity for XRP at lower levels quickly is consumed. Feedback loop. With RLUSD facilitating these large transactions, the process is faster and more efficient than using traditional fiat pairs. As the price of XRP rises, institutions may still find it worthwhile to continue using XRP due to its cost-saving advantages for payments. Scenario 1. Step 1. A bank deposits $1 billion in RLUSD. RLUSD is held in Ripple's supported wallet or exchange, ready for use. Step 2. Buying XRP. The bank uses RLUSD to buy XRP on an exchange. Let's assume XRP order book looks like this. 100,000 XRP at 50 cents. 50,000 XRP at $1. 20,000 XRP at $5. The bank's $1 billion buy order clears the 50 cents, $1, and $5 range. Step 3. After the large RLUSD purchase, the price of XRP has now jumped to $5 or higher. The price becomes the new baseline as low-priced sell orders have been exhausted. Step 4. Ongoing utility. The bank uses XRP to settle international payments, leveraging its speed and low cost. RLUSD continues to serve as the stable intermediary, making the system efficient and repeatable. Why RLUSD matters. Faster transactions, improved liquidity, and reduced volatility. The conclusion, by introducing RLUSD to the Shane Ellis theory, the mechanism of buying up XRP and sell orders becomes more efficient and scalable. RLUSD serves as the stable, high-liquidity asset that facilitates massive buy orders, driving up XRP prices as institutional demand grows and supply at lower levels diminishes. Okay, so things are really starting to come together now, and the picture is getting clearer. Let's break down what Ripple's actually holding. Escrow account? They've got roughly $37 billion in there. Ripple Liquid is hanging around $3.5 billion, though, honestly, I'm thinking these numbers might be a touch off. Here's my take. If you add everything up, Ripple's probably controlling anywhere from $43 to $45 billion in XRP. Now throw Chris Larson into the mix with his $2.3 billion stash. Arthur Brito, he's got $1.3 billion locked down. Do the math on that. We're talking almost 44% of the total supply right there. Actually, bump that up a little when you factor in both Chris and Arthur together. But wait, there's more. The institutional players are getting in on this too. Purpose ETF already holds 29.6 million XRP. It's 89 million at $3. 3IQ holds another 45 million XRP. And trust me, the rest of these ETFs, they're definitely packing a lot more than that. Real quick, I want to pull up some screenshots showing these thin order books. These are from way back, so don't freak out when you see the price thinking, hold on, XRP was at 27 cents? Yeah, that was years ago when we first started covering XRP on this channel. If you were part of the crew back then, you're an OG who caught it at the perfect time. Just joining us now, no worries at all. All right, so here we are looking at the data. Let me show you what I found. Bittrex order book currently shows from 27 cents to $1.49, totals $47,000. Basically, Bittrex had a measly $47,000 worth of orders sitting there between buys and sells. Now here's the wild part. Simple transacting $47,000 at this point will instantly push the price of XRP from 27 cents to $1.49. Drop $47,000 worth of buy orders into that system and boom, you're jumping from 27 cents to $1.49 just like that. Now scale that up in your head. What if someone's throwing in $50 million or $100 million every day? The price movement would be absolutely insane. Sure, that kind of buying pressure isn't going to show up 24/7, but here's the thing. Even when you're looking at $10 million or $20 million in demand, it creates a serious impact when it flows through these public exchanges. Check out this next one. Simplify transacting $47,000 at this point would instantly push the price of $1.49. Bittrex order book currently shows that from 27 cents to $25 in totals, meaning a mere $3.6 million could rocket XRP from $0.27 all the way to $25. Transacting $3.6 million at this point would instantly push the price to $25. Bittrex order books currently show that from 27 cents to $100 in totals, which takes about $3.7 million. See where I'm going with this? The numbers tell the same story over and over. Now, switching gears, Digital Perspectives Brad Kimes brought this up recently. Had to give a thanks to his channel. That channel is literally where I got my feet wet in crypto. Listen to this.
Eggrag Crypto highlights this, in fact. What happened in the Kraken exchange? It didn't happen anywhere else, just on the one exchange. Is that XRP did in fact hit $90, they all say. It is simply an order book game theory. You should understand the impact of thin order book. Look what happened on the 10th of October, 2025. The same can be applied, but this time to the upside. So whether you're talking to the upside or the downside, as he highlighted about October, you still understand that a thin order book can move the needle very quickly. And that really is what comes down to the definition of the Shane Ellis theory and how XRP could be exploding to a high level because it wouldn't happen on one exchange. It would have to happen on all of the exchanges.
All right, so by now you're probably nodding along going, okay, I see where this is headed. But wait, there's more brewing under the surface. We've got thin float picking up momentum, supply shock conversations heating up, that high price liquidity theory everyone keeps bringing up, plus the whole escrow situation and why that managed overhead just sits there instead of flooding the market. Honestly, there's a whole bunch of rabbit holes we could go down. Here's the big thing I've been itching to tell you though. RLUSD might be the secret ingredient that takes the Shane Ellis theory from interesting to absolutely explosive. And the crazy part, this isn't some future prediction. We're literally watching the pieces fall into place as we speak. Every day brings something new, and I can't wait to keep you in the loop as this story unfolds. Man, I'm just happy you're here riding this wave with me. Appreciate you stopping by and giving this a watch. If you ever need help wrapping your head around any of this crypto stuff, my door is always open. And look, if this resonated with you, smash that like, send it to a friend, throw your thoughts in the comments, do your thing. Catch you in the next one.